The last part to this solution stoichiometry problem in Chapter 5 is a redox titration. I hope you'll see that's very similar to the acid-base reaction in that we have some information about this solution. We know how concentrated it is. We know how much we're using. And we're trying to find something about the peroxide. So all this information that you see here was given. It read something like an amount of hydrogen peroxide was dissolved in 100 milliliters of water. It was then titrated with this solution. Again, what's really key is how these are related, not so much what the products are. What we're looking for in this case is a little bit different in that the question asks what mass of hydrogen peroxide was originally dissolved into the solution. So again, we start with the solution that we know a lot about. The KMnO4 solution is 1.68 molar. We can multiply by the volume in liters. This is a pretty key calculation for much of what you do in chapters 4 and 5. This allows us to find moles of the compound. So we'll divide or multiply those. Of course, we have the milliliters converted to liters. And we find out that 0.2822, I mean, you can round or keep these digits. We're not really done, so I don't normally round. I just leave these values in my calculator. Moles of the compound that we know about can then be converted to the one that we're looking for. And I'm writing this out so you can see how it's done. I guess at some point you might just say, all right, I know that there's twice the amount of permanganate, so you just know to divide by 2. I'm gonna try to write that out for you each time so you can see the dimensional analysis. Don't make a careless error here. Instead of multiplying by 2, you need to divide by 2. So this lets us know that there must have been this many moles of hydrogen peroxide dissolved in that 100 milliliters of water. Now I mention this because if the question had been what is the molarity, what is the concentration of the hydrogen peroxide solution, then you would take these moles and divide by the volume in liters. Right, that's how you would answer the question if it were what is the molarity. This question is a little bit different because it says what mass of hydrogen peroxide, okay, which is a very simple calculation to do if we want to know mass. If we know moles, we simply convert moles of hydrogen peroxide to grams. How much does a mole of hydrogen peroxide weigh? The molar mass is 3234. And we can simply convert these moles of hydrogen peroxide to grams. And it's going to be about 48 grams of hydrogen peroxide. Alright, so this particular question happens to ask for mass. This is what we need to do, use the molar mass to find it. If the question had been, which is many times the question for a stoichiometry problem is, or for a titration is, what is the concentration of the original solution? We would have done this calculation, moles divided by liters. That would have given us the molarity. You should be able to solve for it just as well.